Thank you so much for joining me today. I think we're ready to get started. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So today we're going to talk about a couple of things, and then I'm going to show you a demo of My Resource Network. But first, I'm going to tell you who we are and why we created My Resource Network. I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of what it is, and then I'm going to get into actually showing you the system. So My Resource Network is an online, web-based, peer-to-peer network to share referrals between service providers. So we created it because we are a technology company. We've kind of positioned ourselves to provide data solutions and make them more affordable and make technology more accessible to nonprofits. And we were working with Elder Law on a project, and now we've positioned this platform to be a very good solution to today's phone call referral process. Just to give you an overview of My Resource Network, we tag it as we're creating healthy communities, and right now we're only focused on particular regions, and basically we just created an avenue for service providers to be able to find each other, to be able to classify what services they provide, and provide integrated services to their clients. There's some other features on here on the screen, but basically it's a closed loop referral system to provide integrated care. So that's a very general overview. I'm just going to get into the demo. A lot of that's going to make more sense once you actually see the system. So I am already logged in here in another tab, and this is what it looks like when you first log into the system. I'm logged in as an agency called Community Development Association. You can see the agency name on top. And the reason why they would be logging in is because I'm a social worker. I'm sitting with one of my clients, and I know that they came in looking for a particular service that we offer, and I've identified that they also need additional services that we do not offer. So I'm going to log into My Resource Network, and the first thing I'll see is a dashboard. So the first thing is a dashboard, and it kind of gives me an overview of everything that I need to see and I need to take action on. So the very top left, I can see my referrals right here. It shows you new, returned, open, and pending. So it kind of, if you hover over it, kind of explains what those are. And I'll come back to that in a moment, but it says 2 new referrals, and that's something we want you to act on right away. But right now we're going to create a new referral. So again, I'm sitting with my client. I know she needs some additional services that we don't provide. So I'm going to log in, click the Create New Referral, and it's going to take me to the referral page, the Create Referral page. And it's very simple to create the referral. It's a very simple process. It's very straightforward. I'm going to walk you through it. Basically, at the top, you select the client, you find the services you want, and you check out. It's like Amazon. You pick what things that you want, and you put them in your shopping cart, and you check out. There's a little bit of a checkout process. So that's what I'm going to show you. So first, I'm going to do a search. If I know that I've already worked with this client before and found her services in this system, then you can just click search. I could type in her name, and then I'll find her. I'm going to pick Grenadine Jackson. This is obviously all dummy data here. So I'm going to pick Grenadine Jackson, but I could have clicked Add New Client, or Add Client rather, and that would open a new client form, and I could add a new client if they're not in the system, if I did a search and I didn't find her. So if you notice, the screen did a refresh. I picked Grenadine. She's listed at the top. Now I can find a service. And this works just like the search bar, again, on Amazon or Google. You just search for what you're looking for. I'm going to just type in ramp. So it gives me some suggestions there. So basically, I typed in ramp. It's going to find home rehab services, and this particular provider offers ramp construction. But the reason why that was returned is because ramp is a key word in the system, and it's associated with a lot of different types of services that providers could have. So as long as there is a provider within the range of my client, it's going to find that provider, and it will show me in a list. So you see Griffin Social Services. This is the listing for that provider, and then further down is the Nexus Human Services. They offer a very similar, looks like the same service. And their listing looks different because on the profile page, they can identify what's shown here. So it looks like we've already selected some things previously. I'm just going to kind of knock these out so we can show you what that looks like. So I selected Griffin Social Services Home Rehab Program, and then there's a couple other options here. I'm going to scroll back up, and I'm going to actually change this to mental health. So maybe she needs someone to talk to. She's experiencing some kind of mental health problems, and I want to find a mental health agency that can help. Now, I'm going to point out one other thing. There's all these other search fields. I didn't talk about them yet. Basically, when I selected my client, these are additional criteria that I can define to help me narrow down the list of results that come back, because there's thousands of services in the system. So if I only want to find the ones that are close to my client, it's going to auto-populate based on the client that I chose. It auto-populated her zip code, her preferred search radius, and then her veteran status and age. That stuff's important, but if for some reason these are not a factor for what I want to search, I can just change them. So I can just change these things, and then you'll get a different set of results based accordingly. So again, I typed in mental health, and if you notice, I still have my home rehab selected over here on the right side, but I can continue to add more services that she might need. So Griffin Social Services, looks like I'm already doing a referral to Griffin. Why not do another referral to Griffin? They have this mental health crisis line. There's a description here of what it does, and then there's eligibility information which she meets. So I'm going to go ahead and select that one too. And then there's a few other listings. I just want to show you an example of what they can look like, what information they can put on here. And you can see the proximity to the client. So I selected 2 services, and I'm going to type in just one more, meals. I could have typed in food. So I found Portage Family Center, Congregate Meals, Nexus Human Services, another Congregate Meal Program. Just an idea of some of the other programs in here. She meets eligibility for these 2, and it looks like this one's pretty close to her. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. If you notice, now I have 3 services selected. So at this point, I can go ahead and check out. I can add more, but I'm going to check out now. So it said create referral, and it took me to a new page to just kind of overview of the client that I had selected and my 3 service providers that I'm going to be making referrals to. So notice how Griffin is listed twice again, and the contact information is different for each one of those. So they offer the services in different areas. So I can write notes that will specifically go to the provider of that service just for this client, just for this one referral I'm going to make. So I can say something about why she needs a ramp. Just say she needs a ramp to access her front door to her house. Something like that. And you can put more. Maybe she just had a hip replacement. And any additional information that would help Griffin be able to provide that service to her that you have already identified with your client, this is where it would go. You can put as many notes in here. They'll always be saved with that referral, just for that referral. So for the mental health crisis line, I can put a different reason why we're sending that mental health to that particular provider. And then same thing for Nexus. So further down on the page, after I'm all done with my notes, there's a data sharing consent. So we do ask that if you're sitting or if you're talking to your client, that you make it very clear to them that their information, that the information that is stored in their system about them is on that contact form. We don't ask a whole lot of information. It's just enough to be able to contact them and to know if they're eligible. There's no medical background or anything like that on the form. But it is still their privacy, and it's still important for you to get consent. Just a verbal agreement is okay, and this is some language you can read to them. It basically just says that they're okay with their data being shared with those 3 providers that I've listed up top. Once they agree, once you hear I agree, then you can click the checkbox and you'll see a submit. And that's all there is. That's as easy it is to make a referral. We just made 3 referrals for grenadine. I didn't have to call anyone. I didn't have to wait on hold. I didn't have to do research online to find those providers. They were all already in the system. They were close enough to grenadine. And now she knows. If you're sitting with her, you can print this page, and I can hand it to grenadine, and she'll know what providers are going to be contacting her. Each one has a front desk phone number that's listed here, and she could even call them directly, and they could find her in the system, or she could just wait to receive that call. She really doesn't even have to do anything. So what just happened is that all these 3 people listed, Marianne, looks like Marianne's the contact person for 2 of these. Marianne just received an email for both of the services that I just referred. It's just going to say, she's going to get an email alert saying that you have a new client referral for this service. There's no client information emailed, of course. And Valerie received the same thing. It's a way to remind them that now they need to log in. So that would have immediately happened. So I'm going to pretend like I'm a new person. I'm going to sign out from this agency, and I'm going to show you from Marianne's perspective at Griffin what it's going to look like. Just bear with me a second here. And where's my other window? So here we are. We're already logged in at Griffin Social Services. I just had it open in another browser, of course. Zoom in for you there. Okay, so now when you log in, I was already logged in, so I'm just going to go back to my dashboard, let that refresh. It says I have 2 new referrals. If I'm Marianne, I just got emailed twice, or I got an email with 2 referrals telling me there's 2 new referrals. So it doesn't tell me what those referrals are. I have to log in. So I can just now click the referral to see who sent me a referral. It takes me to the referral page. So the same list that you saw on the dashboard, you have new referrals. I'm just going to give you an overview of this page. You have new, and you can see the headings returned, open referrals, and then pending referrals. I'm going to focus on the new referrals. Those are the ones that just came in for Grenadine Jackson. Now, there's some information that you see here in Grenadine. I can click, if we're accepting everyone, or this isn't enough information for me to accept her, I can go ahead and accept her from here, and that line will leave the new referrals list. I'm going to click the details page to show you what that looks like first. This is the snapshot of that referral. So it's a little bit of information about Grenadine, and it's on the left side there, and then information of what she was referred to, and then notes that provider that was referring to me wanted me to see. So those are the notes. And if you can see in the history, the notes of that provider are always going to be stored in the history. Any actions that I take will always be listed in the history for this referral. So I can see that this is me. I was logged in as a very different organization. I sent this at this time. So I can also accept or reject it from here. I just wanted to let you know what happens when you reject it. Let's say we can't. For that particular service, I forget what it was now. For home rehab, we're not taking in any more people right now for home rehab. So we say we do not have capacity for this service. And if I put in some notes here and actually click reject, that is going to be a returned referral back to community development, back to that provider that I was before, that was sitting with them. They're going to get an email saying, Griffin did not accept that referral. Please make a new referral to a different organization. And then I can write some notes as to why. We just filled our last slot for this program year. Program year resets. Whatever. Well, you get the point. You can put as much information as you want in here, and now you just reject. So that way, the user on the other end will know why it was rejected. and the notes will always stay with that referral. So now I still have one more for the mental health crisis line. I'm going to accept that one. We accept everyone on the crisis line. So that's just going to update, and now I don't have any new referrals. Returned are, again, those are the referrals that I submitted for someone, and they came back to me. So it looks like I submitted a referral for home rehab because our slots are full, of course, and it came back to me. And I can click retry. That's kind of like a shortcut way to load up the new referrals page and to do a search for another provider for that service for that client. So it's already a pretty simple service, but retry kind of speeds it up, takes you right there. And then when you're done, you can just close out, and then you can say what happened. It's important to mention, to pick from the drop-down what the situation was, why you're closing it. So I didn't close that, as you see. Further down, we have open referrals. Those are referrals that I have accepted. So the one that I accepted for Grenadine is right here for the mental health crisis line for Grenadine Jackson. Now they're listed in order from the oldest to newest because you want to take action on the oldest one first. So what you want to do with the open referrals, you accept them because you want to provide the service to them. And once you've enrolled that client into a program, or once you've deemed that they're eligible and you assign them to a caseworker, at that point you can close them. There's no reason to keep them open because this system is only for to follow the path of that referral. So once you've accepted that referral and you're going to provide service to them, that's all you need to know here. This is not your case tracking system. You continue to do that in your other system. So I'm going to go ahead and close. Let's say for the one we just received, I called Grenadine. I got enough information from her, and a crew is going to go out to her house. It's already scheduled to, I'm sorry, that's mental health. I was thinking home rehab. All right, let's go with that, home rehab. Crew is already going out to her house, and I'm just going to go ahead and close this referral. There's options. I'm going to say this service has been completed, and that's all you need to say. And we're going to close it. So now that line is off from my open referrals. Further down is the last section here. This is the pending referrals. Pending are the ones that I have sent. I've requested referrals for services to other providers, and they have yet to respond. So those are listed and they're pending. This is all test data, so there's a lot here. Hopefully you wouldn't have as many. So the pending, we expect that someone responds to the referral within 24 or 48 hours to be able to provide service to that client. So you notice on the dashboard, you see those same indicators, the new, return, open, pending. Further down in the dashboard, we didn't talk about the rest of the stuff here, is the services, my agency services. So the 4 services we provide are listed here. We show these because we want to make sure that all the services in the system are up to date. If anything changes, any information about the service changes, the system is routinely reminding the contact person listed. So here, Marianne Aldridge is the contact person. She's constantly being reminded every 60 days to refresh and revalidate that the data is accurate. So she can just edit it if it changes. It's very simple to do that, and I'm going to show you that in a second. And if for whatever reason they're not accepting, like for instance, we didn't accept anymore for the home rehab program, I can just mark this as overcapacity. It says, are you sure? When a service is overcapacity, you'll no longer see search, or no, it'll never come up in search results. Yes, I'm sure. So now I will not receive any more referrals. No one can make a referral now on accident because it won't be showing up anymore. So I'm going to just click edit on one of these so you can see the service profile. This is how you classify a service that your agency provides or a program that your agency provides. So we have some language at the top that kind of explains how to do it. It's a very simple form. You just answer the questions on the form. You select a primary contact. It's going to show a list of the staff members that have access in My Resource Network, and they become the primary contact. which means they're the ones who are initially notified when a new referral comes in for that, and then they are the ones who are reminded when the service hasn't been updated in X amount of days. On the right side, this is where you actually do the classification. So it's already selected that it says community service. For this one is the category, and there are 211 lead agency is the type. But if I typed in like food, for instance, it's going to show a list of all of the categories and services that match to the keyword of food. So you don't have to know how the categories and service listings work in our system. You just have to type in a keyword that your service provides. So if you are a soup kitchen, you're right here, soup kitchen. I found it. We offer basic needs soup kitchen, and we also offer food vouchers. So let's see, we do both. You have to enter each one separately. Each one is their own service because someone could come to either one of those. You want to be as specific as you can. So now I picked it. It updates those, and then I move down, and you can pick your eligibility information, as much description as you want to put in here. All of this information is how the people are going to find you who are looking for services. So it's important to keep this as up to date and as specific as you can. And that's all there is to it. I don't want to change this, so I'm going to hit cancel. So administratively, that's how you update your services. So there's also your staff, your clients page, which I'm going to take you there. This is a list of all the clients that your agency has either created or received a referral. So if, let's say Beatrice, this is the client I selected, if there's a new referral coming in from Beatrice and I accepted it, then now she will appear in my client list. So this is all the information we track on the client. Not a whole lot. Some alternate contact, and then further down is the client referral history. The referral history is always tied to that client. So I can click on these and see the full history for each referral, or I can just see all the referrals that were made. So this is showing each referral that was made. So you can see that these ones are both closed, who they, what services they were for, and who they refer by, and if you want to know more history, all the notes and so forth, you can just click each one, and then it'll take you into it. And that's the system. That's how easy it is to classify your services, make referral, and receive referrals. And go back to. So next we're going to talk about the next steps. So how do you get started? So right now we are focused on particular regions. The system is ready to go. It's $20 for individual service providers to start using the system. If you want to start today, you go to myresourcenetwork.com. The link is at the bottom there. And you can sign up. There's a sign up button. You just sign up. You'll get your first month free. However, we are kind of screening those. We're trying to make sure that the providers who are using it are near other providers who are using it. We're in the process of building that foundation. So if you're not sure, you just fill out the sign up form, and it just asks for your zip code, and it does the rest. And then you'll get your first month free automatically. If at any time you have any questions, you can email info@myresourcenetwork.com with whatever question you have. And like I said, we're trying to work in very specific regions right now. So we're looking for partners to help us get started. So if you have any other people who might be interested in using it, other providers that might be interested in using this, let them know about it. They can sign up for a demo on our site the same way you sign up for a demo. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to share the recording of this conversation a recording of this demo with all of you, and that way you have it. You can review it again if I went too fast. And I really hope this. I'm really excited about this, as you can tell. I really hope I hear from you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today.